OriginalRetro, I am the free oppressor. Today is January 60, 2021, Brazil. Game reveal, Silent Hill Homecoming. This is my favorite game of this series. It is. With all the issues, it is a very good game, at least to me. Plot. It is very simple. You wake up in a hospital, you find your brother, and your brother runs away, and then you start to search for him. And during the game, you are going to discover what happened in this city, which is Glen Shepherd, and its connections to Silent Hill. It is very interesting because it reveals a lot from the story of Silent Hill. It's a more deep story if compared to other games. You are going to learn at least a little about the foundations of Silent Hill, on how people came and how did they get involved in this kind of black magic. It is very interesting. Graphics. Yes, the graphics are good, but I remember that at least in PlayStation 3 the graphics were better. I don't know if it's my computer, if my computer is not appropriate for this kind of game, but to me, playing this on PS3 was better. The graphics were better. But there are lots of details. The characters are very well designed. When you hit the monsters, for example, they get hurt. You can see holes or cuts in their bodies, and sometimes you can even dismember them. It is very interesting. You can shatter some boss. Controls. Mouse and keyboard, but to me there is a very interesting issue. First of all, I think it's better to play this with a joystick. Okay, I'll tell you why, but first I would like to tell you something. Check this AI. The AI is a little bit dumb, you know, they are trying to fight my friend and they are just ignoring me, you know, and at least the enemies, they tend to be polite. You understand why. Well, as I was saying before, the controls, they are not very good. Sometimes you want to dodge, for example, back, and your character is going to dodge left. You're dodging right, he's going forward. So the controls, they are not very responsive. At least this is my experience playing with mouse and keyboard. Another thing about the controls, sometimes you are aiming the enemy and there is a document, a sheet of paper on the floor, and instead of shooting or hitting the enemy, your character will read it. And this game, it's a real-time game, so if you're reading a document or trying to open a door, you can be hit by the enemy. You know, I was hit several times by members of the Order, which are guys dressed in clothes with masks, because my character was reading. As I told before, the enemy, he tends to be polite. For example, they are going to respect you fight one-on-one fight. They wait, you know, for their shift in order to fight you. This is very interesting. But after you hit the enemy, you must be prepared for attack, or they are going to hit you in a very short time. You know, they are also fast. At the same time, this might be good due to the sport controls. It is bad because you have to be prepared for a sudden attack. This happens while you are fighting against many foes. For example, the nurses, which are the most beautiful and creepy enemy in this game, in my humble opinion. They, you know, have this mechanical kind of walk, but they also attack in groups. So if you finish off this nurse, you might be attacked. You might suffer some damage from a nearby opponent. You have to be very quick. And yes, compared to other versions, the combat is better. The sound is very good. The soundtrack is very interesting. It's some sort of loneliness, emptiness, desolation, and nightmarish kind of music. You know, also the voice acting, I think it's very good voice acting, you know. And the characters, they are not just babbling around. They're talking about important things for this game, you know. So the sound in general is very good. The monster sounds, the way the monsters roar or scream, the sound of the weapons hitting the monsters, of course the melee weapons, things being destroyed in the scenario, things like that. So yeah, the sound is very good. Oh yes, and you can talk to other characters, you know, during the game you can choose the correct answer, and depending on the answer you give to each character, this might have some effect on the game. You can choose the endings depending on the answer you give to each character, to some specific characters. Oh yeah, and the bosses, they are very creepy. I'm not telling you how are they summoned, but they kind of roar, you know, they move sometimes mechanically or in a weird manner, and you can sometimes shatter parts of their body, because in this game you can see the amount of damage applied from each strike of yours when you hit them, and they bleed, you know. This is very interesting. Check out this scene. Yes, it's very creepy, and sometimes the boss fights are tense. So apart from this issue with the unresponsive controller, I think that this game in general is very, very good. You know, each weapon, for example, has a different purpose. You can use the axe to cut or to blunt a piece of wood. You can use a pipe or a crowbar to break in, to you know, to pry some gates and stuff like that. And yes, each weapon can be used to inflict more damage to the enemy and to beat the boss properly. Instead of carrying a lot of weapon, your character will change a weapon. For example, the knife, you begin the game with a knife. In this game, the knife has an upgrade. It means that the character will substitute the knife for a dagger. And this dagger is also a key to solve some puzzles in the game. It's very interesting.
I don't know what that is.
Stop lying. I'm tired of it.
And as you advance, you are going to get to know more about the characters, their problems, so they are common people, and you're going to understand more and more about Silent Hill and about what happened in this town, you know. It's a very interesting game. Of course, then in the end, you will feel like there are more answers that you could not solve. You know, there are questions that were not answered.
Look, I didn't say it before, but I'm glad you're back. I feel safer with you here. Everything's just been falling apart around us, you know, but you...
Your fire guns can also be upgraded. You kind of change a weapon.
Yes, you do.
You substitute a weapon for a better one. And yes, you can hold a limited amount of ammunition, not like the previous game that you could, I don't know, store in your pocket thousands of ammunition. No, does not happen in this game. And you can also grab some serum in some moments in this game, and this serum will upgrade your health bar.
Place has bad history. Always has.
You been there?
Didn't need to.
It's a more dynamic Silent Hill focused on combat.
I was looking at a job in Bronx, working with the
While you are walking in the city, you will be facing lots of enemies. So sometimes you'd better run than stand still and fight lots of foes. I have a video about the, let's say, good ending of this game, okay? It's another video, so if you're interested, you can watch it. The final boss is very, very creepy, you know? Very well designed, but also creepy. And the end, well, the end is very revealing. In this part of the game, the members of the Order dress with this, I don't know what kind of clothes it is, but with this mask, they kind of run towards you, you know, and sometimes they shoot at you. In general, the plot's good, the graphics good, the controls, they're not that good. The sound is very interesting, and yes, this game is very fun and challenging, and I really recommend you to play it if you enjoy the survival horror games. Please don't forget to share, to like it, to subscribe, so ring the bell and leave your comments below. Thank you very much.